Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, Carl Fredrickson, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
Hello.
Yeah. We actually have a slam dunk episode for you. I know I say that every week, but this time I especially mean it.
That's for real.
There's a lot of things to go over.
Real.
We got a lot of gaming news. We had the PlayStation event on Thursday. We got show news. We finished Ozark. And I watched the Up spin-off show, Doug Days. So I thought I would give a very small review of that one. It's only 5 episodes. Each one is like 9 minutes long. So there's not a whole lot to talk about. But I thought I would just bring it up and talk about it. And also, there is some G-dang music news. We did record the reaction to the Kacey Musgraves video, which is out on the Boy Time channel, the main Boy Time channel, as we squeak. But there was also some other things. So, that's where we're at right now. Frankly, I don't care how your guys' weeks were, so I'm just going to jump straight into the gaming news, because that's what I'm most excited to talk about, frankly. I have been holding myself off from talking to, I guess, Babby, because Paul has been sick. He's better now, but Paul has been sick, has not been on. So, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Now, I just had my podcast notes open as this showcase was going on. I was watching it live. I was a little worried because of the time. It's like 1 p.m. Pacific. For some reason, I thought Central was 2 hours ahead, but it was 2 hours behind. So I was able to catch it live, which I was very excited for. But the PlayStation showcase started. I would say as a general note, I think I would have given it a B. I don't think it was like an A, like wowie wow. There was a lot of great things, but there was also a lot of stupid things that I didn't care at all. So, yeah. But the showcase started off with probably the biggest twist I have ever seen. I did not see this coming, but it's something that I am very excited for. And that is the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Knights of the Old Republic.
Nope.
Okay.
Explain to the viewers.
I will.
Explain to us idiots.
So this was an original Xbox game, which is a little bit controversial. I've seen some people online being a little bit mad. This is a PlayStation exclusive, but PlayStation and PC. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
We good then.
Yeah.
Xbox doesn't need it. We good.
I saw that PlayStation and PC and I'm like, oh snap, that's awesome. I was so excited.
Thank you, Sony.
Yes. Thank you, Sony. So it was an original Xbox game. So it's not going to be on the Xbox, at least for now. I have seen some reports that say that's going to be a timed console exclusive. So similar to like Deathloop is going to be a timed console exclusive. After a certain amount of time, it will be open for the Xbox or just like stuff like that. So, you'll get it eventually, Xbox gamers. But this game was very revolutionary for its time. Very influential in the RPG genre. Personally, I do not like this game because it has aged probably the worst out of any game I have played ever. The combat's bad. The graphics are horrible, even for 2003. Like, you compare that with even like comparable Star Wars games that came out around that time, it just doesn't look very good. And it's kind of like has that old game clunk that just, there's a lot of
Yeah.
annoying things that go along with it. But there's a lot of things that are great about it. I think the story is probably it's probably the best Star Wars game story out there. But I know that this game is like pretty big. It influenced like stuff like Mass Effect, Dragon Age. I'm sure Todd Howard probably was influenced when when making some of his
sure
Elder
he was.
Scrolls stuff. Just basically any RPG has been influenced by this. And so I had seen, whenever there's a gaming event and like there's going to be something Star Wars related, it's always like, ooh, my dream is for the KOTOR remake. And there has been talks about it for years, probably decades at this point, where different like fan organizations would come together and be like, we're going to make a KOTOR remake. And then Lucasfilm would come in and be like, stop it, that's illegal. And then it would just like constant cycles of this. This is an official remake brought to you by the guys at Asper, which I didn't know who they were. I don't think anybody knows who they are. They are a porting house, which I'm going to be honest, a little bit skeptical if they can pull this off. But they're a semi-new studio, I think. They have been largely responsible for porting a lot of old Star Wars games to the PlayStation and Switch stores. They just did Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Jedi Academy, Republic Commando, and they also ported KOTOR and KOTOR 2 to mobile. So they do have experience with this game.
Mobile gamers.
They're a little bit of a mobile gamer. Let's see. I have been seeing that they have been hiring people from Blue Point, who, if you don't know who Blue Point are, they are probably the best studio in the biz that are making remakes right now. They did Shadow of the Colossus. They did Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. And they most recently just did Demon Souls.
Heck yeah.
So they are very good at what they do, and they tend to make the definitive version of games. So it's good to see that they're going to be helping out with this thing. They also got some people who have worked on Dragon Age and Ghost of Tsushima. The first one is a pretty influential RPG. I don't know why they got some people from Ghost of Tsushima, but Ghost of Tsushima, pretty solid game, so not complaining there. But we just got like a teaser, not real game footage. It just said like, it was like a dark, spooky room. And then Revan, who is the main Sith in the game, it kind of turns his lightsaber on, then you see his helmet. And like as soon as you saw his helmet, it was like, oh snap, they're actually making Knights of the Old Republic remake. It was awesome. So I'm pretty excited for that. I think there's a lot of potential for that, especially since the original game is, let's be honest, pretty bad. Or it has not aged very well. I don't want to say it's bad, but it hasn't aged the best. So hopefully they can fix it and make it good. I think that was all I wanted to say about KOTOR. We don't know very much.
And neither do I.
Neither do I. I don't remember if I did this chronologically. I don't think I wrote everything down. But the next thing I made a note of was Forspoken. Probably the most generic sounding fantasy name, but that's what this game's called. It's, our buddy Grant is super into anime, and he has a lot of stories about it's like this chick who grows up in a modern setting, and then she gets sucked into a portal, and then now she lives in a fantasy realm.
That's never been done before.
It's never been done before, and Square is doing it.
Nice.
I probably won't check this out unless the reviews are absolutely stellar, but in the gameplay trailer, she was pulling off some pretty crazy movement things. It seemed like that traversal is
jumping.
Well, she was jumping. She was also doing some cool hook shot things where she was grappling over to other buildings and slingshotting herself like Spider-Man style almost. And it was okay, that's pretty cool.
Jumping.
Many styles of jumping, yes. But I'm a sucker for good traversal systems, so I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I should probably make a note of that. But my note said made by Square, so be careful, might be too stupid, which is probably a valid point, if I'm being honest. The next thing I made a note of was the Rainbow Six game that I think nobody asked for. It is the Rainbow Six Left 4 Dead thing, as if we don't have enough Left 4 Dead ripoffs coming out. This.
Ones that are better than this as well.
Yeah. I think it's called Rainbow Six Extraction. I did not look this up after. Frankly, I don't care too much about this.
Yeah, I don't care.
So I just thought I'd bring it up because this frankly should be in Who Asked for This news. So there, that goes there. Next up was the Alan Wake remaster that is coming out on October 5th. This is one that I have not played this game.
Oh, you gotta play that game.
I didn't know that this was as well received publicly. I had seen a lot of people go like, "Yo, Alan Wake remaster." Like,
Yeah,
okay, I might have to check this one out.
It's a good one. It's kind of like Heavy Rain.
Okay.
They're kind of like similar game style, but it's more of like I wouldn't say horror, but it's definitely spooky.
Yeah.
At least it was to 11-year-old me. So.
The gameplay they showed looked a little spooky.
Yeah, but I remember the story being good, but again, 11-year-old me could be nostalgic.
Well, I mean, I'd seen other people say that too. So
yeah,
nostalgic baby,
definitely
baby,
worth
baby.
a check out.
Yeah, and it's coming out less than a month away. So
I might cop that one too, just to replay it.
I don't remember if that's going to be on PlayStation and PC. I think I made a note of stuff that was coming out on both.
I think it's on Steam, so.
Oh, okay. So probably.
Hopefully
Steam
they
game.
bring it to Steam.
Yeah, so I'll probably pick that one up. We'll see how that goes. The next thing, we might bring this up at music time, but I did need to bring it up because this was at PlayStation. Radiohead was at the PlayStation Showcase in partnership with Epic Games.
Heck yeah.
So,
Did not see that coming. I'll touch on it during music.
I was like, is Radiohead doing a Fortnite concert?
No. That's what when I saw the Epic Games logo, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But no, that's not it.
Okay. We'll go over it. I just thought I'd make it.
I think it's just the Unreal Engine or whatever engine Epic has.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we'll talk about that later. Next up was I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but it's Chia, as TCHIA.
Not Chia Pet.
Chia, I don't know.
Chia.
It looks like it has some like
copyrighted.
it is very copyrighted. We're gonna get a strike for that, honestly.
Dang it.
I'm
so sorry.
It's okay. Just don't do it again. You can't do it 2 more times, otherwise this channel gets taken down.
Oh no.
Yeah, so be careful. Yeah, so this game is it started off and it had like it was like two kids sitting on a cliff, and one of them was playing the ukulele, and it kind of reminded me of like The Last of Us 2 guitar playing, where there's like a circle of chords and then like you strum and you're able to like select it. So there's some of that. But I think the main core of the gameplay, which we haven't seen a whole lot of like what you actually do, but you appear to be one of the kids, and she has the ability to like control animals. So like she can like turn into a bird, and well, not turn into. She can kind of like possess. I guess that's kind of more appropriate. But she can kind of just like take over the bodies.
Possession.
Kind of like Super Mario Odyssey or something. But
A funny hat.
just a funny hat, except she has a ukulele, I think.
That's a funny hat.
Yeah. She can take over animals. I thought it looked great. It was like some nice cel-shaded animation. It was a very pretty looking game. Thought I'd make a note of it, but I don't know if we know too much about that one yet. And the next thing that was announced, which I was super excited for until I learned what was being ported, and that is that Uncharted is coming to PC.
Dude, yes.
But
But
I don't know exactly what this collection is called. But this is a collection that just has Uncharted 4 and Uncharted The Lost Legacy, which I believe came out after Uncharted 4. I repeat to all of the PC players that have not played Uncharted, do not buy this collection. Do not just play Uncharted 4. That is the absolute worst
I
way
want
to start. I
Does
If I
weird.
want.
That's not to say that Uncharted 4 is a bad game. That's not to say that Uncharted The Lost Legacy is a bad game. I am saying you absolutely have to play the first 3 games before you play Uncharted 4. The other 3 games can really be played in... Actually, that's not true. They should be played chronologically. But the first 3
Also-
kind of feel like an Indiana Jones kind of thing, where they can... they're like released in certain orders, but it isn't like a super big deal. There are like certain characters that kind of carry over, but not like major story beats. Uncharted 4 takes all of the story beats from number 3 and works them into the story of Uncharted 4. You are going to be seriously hindered if you're starting at the last one. So I don't know. This is a weird choice. If you're going to port this to PC, port the
make a whole
Nathan
collection,
Drake
please.
collection. Or yeah, just make a whole collection. I think the whole reason they didn't want to do that is because they already have the Nathan Drake collection, so they didn't want.
Support that then.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Sony still hasn't really mastered the art of PC stuff. They're starting to,
I'm
but
glad they're starting.
they're starting. So I'm glad that they are. Just please, come on. God of War needs to be on PC, and the Uncharted stuff needs to go on PC. Last of
Don't
Us
Nintendo this
also,
and make
but
really questionable decisions that make no sense.
yeah.
Do it.
I will say that what's coming up, like, pretty much redeemed this for me. But yeah, weird choice, and a little bit of a PSA for all the PC gamers that have never played Uncharted. And it was like, yo, Uncharted is coming to PC. Yeah, I might check that out. Do not. Unless you just want to play The Lost Legacy. I haven't played The Lost Legacy. So I don't know. Try it. See if it's good. But do not play Uncharted 4. So
Never play it.
well, it's in my opinion, it's the best one.
Oh.
That might be a little controversial because I know 2 is very popular. I know that one is regarded as one of the best action adventure shooters of all time, but I like number 4 better. Plus, Neil Cuckman is the creative director of that one. So, I mean, what's not to love, huh? Okay, next up, we got some Insomniac news back to back. We got 2 Insomniac things. For those who don't know, Insomniac kind of historically had been kind of the 3D platformer gamers. They had been Ratchet and Clank. I don't remember exactly what else they had done, but that was what they were known for, was Ratchet and Clank. They made Sunset Overdrive also on Xbox. They came back to PlayStation, and then they made Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. So as soon as you saw the Insomniac logo, we were like, oh snap,
It's a banger.
this one is going to be good. And so it was like Insomniac, Marvel. It was like, oh snap, it's going to be Spider-Man 2 or like something along those lines or some other. No, they're making a G-dang Wolverine game. It's like, whoa. And it
Has
looks
there been one of those?
I don't know.
not okay. There was one in the mix.
Yes.
There, I don't believe this was ever made, but there was a Wolverine game that was supposed to come out with, I don't remember if it was X-Men Origins Wolverine or if it was with Logan, but it was supposed to be like a really dark and gritty Wolverine game where like you could like cut people up, and fingers crossed that's what this is going to be. That's what it looked like from the very short trailer we got. Like everybody was covered in blood, and Logan was just kind of sitting at the bar, and he whips his claws out, and I was like, oh snap.
Ooh.
Yeah, no release date or anything for that. knowing them, my unadulterated prediction, probably 4 years from now. It took them forever from the first reveal trailer for Spider-Man until like the second like trailer. It probably took like 2 or 3 years until we finally saw that trailer of him like on the crane and fighting them Mr. Negative. So it's gonna take a while. So buckle up. I know people are really excited for this. I'm really excited for this too. I don't want them to go like a Spider-Man route, make it T. I want an M-rated
Yeah, just go in.
Wolverine. I don't really know how you make a T-rated Wolverine
Yeah, I
game,
was gonna
frankly.
say, I don't know how they would do that.
He has swords for hands. How that you can't do
Yeah.
that. I know
You just
somehow.
have it like go through the ragdoll so like without blood or gore or anything. It just looks like they're getting little paper cuts, you know.
Yeah, but that'd be lame.
That would be able to make it T for Teen though.
I mean, I could see like Marvel being like, we don't want to make an M-rated thing. I know
They
Kevin.
made Logan.
They,
so.
well, that was was that Fox? I don't know who owned. I think it was Fox who owned X-Men
they
before.
okayed it.
The license is so weird.
Yeah.
But now that Fox is owned by Disney, Kevin
There's a lot of
Feige.
stuff happening.
Kevin Feige is very against making another M-rated Marvel movie.
He's stupid.
He is stupid, but M-rated movies don't sell very well. Now, the difference between that and video games is that M-rated video games sell very well. Call of Duty and stuff like that, or just video games. They tend to sell very well. I don't know exactly if Kevin Feige is in charge of their gaming division, but either way, this is something to look forward to. Insomniac, they have not let me down recently. That new Ratchet and Clank game was pretty g-dang epic, even though the story was kind of lame, but the gameplay was pretty fun. And so like that trailer dropped and we were like, okay, no Spider-Man footage, but that's okay. We just got this huge drop from Insomniac. The next trailer drops, it's another Insomniac logo. It's like, what the frick? You're not going to space these out? You're just going to have 2 Insomniacs in a row? And it was like, it started out and it was like a street sign. And I was originally, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a Daredevil, like something like that, because the Marvel logo flashed again. And it looked like it was in like Hell's Kitchen or something. And no. Or no. Wait, I'm all
No.
mixed up. Because I was watching it on Eddie's stream, and when there was lightning that struck the pole, he said right off the bat that this was going to be an Infamous game, but that wouldn't have happened with Insomniac. That's Sucker Punch. And then you hear like some Russian guy talking, and then you see Spider-Man. It's the Spider-Man 2. That's what the trailer is. We got a new Spider-Man 2 trailer, which is very exciting. Spider-Man 1 came out in 2018, I think. It was something 2018, it was not 2019. I think it was 2018. Yes. We got that one. So it's already been 3 years since Spider-Man 1. We did get Miles Morales last year, but that was more of like an in-betweener. It was like $40, I think, so it wasn't like, as in-depth as the first Spider-Man game was. That being said, I've played Spider-Man Miles Morales. It is better than the first game. I will say that. There isn't as much stuff to do. There isn't the story isn't as long as the first one, but the moment-to-moment gameplay is really where Miles shines. Plus, you get Miles can turn invisible and he can shoot lightning. So it's like what's not to love? It's just more fun Spider-Man. So yeah, the trailer showed Miles and Peter. It seems like they're going to be together in this one. Looked like Peter was going to be having some Iron Spider things happening, which are like he's going to have like the Doc Ock arms, kind of. So that's a little interesting. And this one was kind of the thing that we knew was going to happen. If you had played the first Spider-Man game and well, I guess spoilers for the first Spider-Man game and Miles Morales, because I will be getting into that. But the after credit scene for the first Spider-Man game, Harry Osborn has been missing this whole time. Of course, played by James Franco in the Tobey Maguire movies and played by I Don't Care in the Andrew Garfield movies. And so he had been missing in the Spider-Man game. It is shown that he's in like some weirdo tank that his dad put him in, and he's been trying to fix some sort of it's a deadly disease that he has. He's trying to fix it with the symbiote that is going to be Venom. So Black Suit Spider-Man, that was why that was not in the first game. I was like, okay. So the next one's going to have Venom in it. That's cool. Venom was shown in Spider-Man 2. So that was pretty cool. I like Venom. I think my favorite thing about Venom is the Eminem song. But they did not play that in the trailer, unfortunately.
Darn it.
The other voice, there was like a voice that's been talking over this trailer. It seems to be, if I were to guess, this is not officially confirmed, but I think it is all but confirmed because this was actually trending. It's Big Wheel, yeah. No, I hope they put Big Wheel.
I hope it's Big Wheel.
If they put Big Wheel in this game, they put Big Wheel in Miles Morales. They gotta put Big Wheel in the Spider-Man 2. I want to actually see him, because in Miles Morales, Big Wheel was like one of the collectibles that you could get, like in the first game.
Darn.
So it was kind of funny that they put Big Wheel in just to satisfy Donkey, but you gotta put Big Wheel in Spider-Man 2. That would be so much fun. But no, it is Kraven the Hunter. That appears to be the second voice, just based on the Russian accent, and he's like trying to find someone who's better than him. That's Kraven's whole deal. So nice to see that they aren't like pulling all big name people. I guess they didn't really do that for the first one. There was no Green Goblin, which is interesting. I think Green Goblin's going to be in this one, if I were to guess. Because if you remember the events of the first game, Norman Osborn was kind of being a power-hungry idiot. So he's probably going to be a Green Goblin. If not in this game, then probably Spider-Man 3. If they're probably going to do it. There's a money cow that is not going to run out of milk. Yeah, they showed that. It's just a very quick teaser trailer showing Miles and Peter kind of beating up a thug, and then it showed Venom in the alley, and it was like, whoa, Venom.
Can't believe it. They're putting him in something.
Yeah, it was so sick.
They haven't done that before.
I hope he's voiced by Tom Hardy. But they announced that the release date, or not the release date, just release time frame, I guess, 2023. So, a little bit far out, but you know what? That's fine. Insomniac takes a long time to make things. I think if I were to say one of my biggest gripes with the Spider-Man games is that they don't let you go that fast. Even when, you're really good at the game and you can like really get good at swinging, they never really up your speed to where you can like really feel like you're Spider-Man just zipping through the whole city. And I know that there was some like technical hardware limitations on the PS4, and I know that I don't think that it could handle going any faster than it could. But now that it's on the PS5, let me go fast. Let's go a little faster, okay?
Go so fast.
Yeah. So that's my one tip for Insomniac. Everything else you're knocking out of the park. So just keep doing what you're doing. So yeah, that was that. And then there was only one more thing that they announced, which I believe I did mention this in predictions very briefly last week. It would have been crazy for them not to include this. It's God of War 2. God of War Ragnarok. Probably my most anticipated game of next year. Assuming it's still coming out next year, Sony, you better, come on. Santa Monica, you better release it on time now. You already delayed it once. No, I don't care. Just make it good. I don't want a bad one. This is going to be the squeakquel to the God of War 2016. I don't remember when stuff comes out. It was around there.
Yeah.
Very highly anticipated. Actually showed some gameplay. They showed some new monsters. They showed new characters. Looks like that. Well, I guess I don't want to go into spoilers for the first game because you guys haven't played it yet, and I want you guys to play it because it's just so good.
I probably won't, but you never
I'll
know.
just, I won't spoil
Maybe it'll go
anything.
on a Igbok Game Pass. You know,
I don't, I don't think that it
No,
will.
never happened.
You never know.
It's on PlayStation Now though, so if you PlayStation Now is on PC, just saying. I don't know if you're going to be able to download it, but that is a different can of worms. So there are new characters. Thor is in the game, which a slight spoiler for the first game. Thor is not in the first God of War game.
May not be.
Famously, this new rebooted God of War game does not take place in Greek mythology, but in Norse mythology. So there's a lot of like weirdo stuff going on. I don't really want to talk too much about the trailer because doing so would result in some spoilers for the first game. But that being said, Boy is now older. He is now a teenager, I think. He's a little bit older, a little bit, I don't know. He's ready to get out of the hive. He knows that Ragnarok is coming, which for those of you who don't know, I guess, in Norse mythology, Ragnarok is the end of the world. So there's like one big winter that a long winter happens, and then Ragnarok happens. This isn't a spoiler for the first game, but after you beat the first game, the whole world becomes snowy, and so it's like,
Spoiler.
okay, this isn't this. I just said this is slight spoil. I prefaced it this time,
You said this is no
Doesn't make it any
spoiler.
better.
but also, I honestly didn't even know that this happened on my first go through because I didn't play the game after I beat
Didn't
it.
even play the game. That's the issue.
No. I didn't 100% the first time. I just beat the campaign, and then you do the credits, and then it was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Turn it off. And then I played through it. I'm like, I'm going to 100% it. This is one of my favorite games, which I guess small flex. I do have the platinum trophy in God of War. I'm just a cool guy, I guess.
Absolute flexer.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a cool guy. Yeah, at the end of the game, once you're in like the open world, it is very snowy, and so it's like, oh, this is a weird winter that we're having in the middle of summer. So it's like, yeah, Ragnarok is coming, and well, no, that's a spoiler. Whatever. Thor is in this one. It's pretty cool. He has a nice hammer. He looks like Thor in Endgame, so that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. Looks good. I believe that is, if I were to guess, probably holiday of next year. I don't think they gave a release time, but Horizon is coming out in summer of next year. So I'm feeling like they probably don't want to make those two compete because they aren't like identical, but they're pretty close in terms of genre that they could actually be competing with each other, and God of War would win. So, yeah, that is coming out. Looks great. The voice acting was very nice. Nice to hear Kratos again. His old man, deep voice. Very cool. And that was the end. They ended with an absolute slam dunk. The God of War 2. That was a lot of stuff that I just talked about. So let's move on to music and give me a little bit of a break, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Babby, take over.
Um, I guess we'll reel it back to video games then.
Okay, with Radiohead.
Yeah, we'll just start with that one and get it out of the way.
Okay.
I've talked about this months ago at this point that there was going to be a Kid A Amnesiac reissuing happening.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be announced more of the time I was talking about it, but it got announced this week. Don't know exactly when. It was earlier in the week. They are releasing remastering both of them, putting them on Spotify and streaming services, reissuing vinyl, and they're releasing a complete album of outtakes and never before heard songs from the recording sessions.
Oh, okay.
Which, being deep into Kanye for a few months, it's kind of crazy how they have songs that nobody's heard before, considering everything that man makes leaks. So this is cool.
Yeah.
But they did release a single. If you say
Yeah.
the word, that came out, I think it was Tuesday. It was like a weird day. It popped up on my YouTube like randomly. I'm like, because the cover looked like a fan made cover. I'm like, oh, this is real. This is the real Radiohead channel.
Yeah.
Okay. Song's pretty sick. Definitely could see it on either of the albums. Got all the stuff I love about both of them on there. It's got the Kid A atmosphere and eerie and edginess and kind of ambient noise of it, and then the jazz drums and scary things from Amnesiac. But this will be out November 5th, the same time that the virtual exposition, like, it's not a game. It's like a
Yeah, fill
museum.
me in on what this is.
It's like a museum, I think,
Okay.
because the creator Kid A's album cover is one of the most iconic ones ever created.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of knows that cover. Stanley Donwood's the artist who does all of their albums, but the whole Kid A, because I actually made packaging for this as a project in college, so I kind of dug deep into the entire history of this entire album artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of comics and unused covers and characters from it. So I'm guessing this is just going to be an exposition of like everything relating to this.
Yeah.
What I would like to see is kind of like a listening party in a way, where it's kind of like you can kind of interact with things and then have the albums playing.
That could be fun.
Which is cool. But that also kind of fits in with the initial rollout of this album, because all the only promotion Radiohead did for this was MTV, like 15-second little clips that they put on MTV, where it featured this artwork, and they're incredibly disturbing. So I'm hoping the game, whatever, if we can call it a game, is this disturbing and cool with the music. But glad to finally hear something from it, because it's been a hot minute. It seems like the hype died down, and they're like, okay, well, now we'll start it.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird to see it at the PlayStation event.
Definitely threw me for a loop. I didn't see the single coming, but then I saw like they're selling like $160 vinyl and like an art book and everything.
Oh, really?
Like, I already have the record, so I'm not gonna buy it. But the art book was really cool. Like, I would buy a physical art book of it because it's some of my like favorite art for an album ever.
Yeah,
man's a genius. But I'm looking forward to seeing it virtually. I think it'll be on PS5 and PC, so I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it was on both.
Yeah, and I think they used Unreal Engine Epic Games. Okay, so I think they're using Unreal Engine for it. The trailer looked really cool. It looks very moody.
Yeah, it was a change of pace, to be sure.
Yes, and they had the kind of the caveman markings that the album art has. So should be cool.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely looking forward to it. I'm glad that it's in November and not this month. So
yes.
Give me a break. So this week we had Kacey Musgraves, Baby Keem. Those were the two big albums. I was gonna touch on Little Sims again, just because I feel like she got overshadowed by Drake and Kanye last week, since there was too much going on.
Yes.
And I only had literally 24 hours to digest that, but it's been a week now, and yeah, this thing's incredible.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it first listen, and I talked about it on the podcast as being in my top 5. I'd say top 3 now.
Whoa, okay.
The climb is real. Yeah, there's just so many things I love about it, and a lot of the hip hop. Well, not a lot of them, but the ones that aren't at the top of my list this year were more like I like the production of them and everything. But with this one, it has like the best production and like some of the best lyrics of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting Kendrick vibes of just how deep I can dig into these lyrics, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And just how catchy the songs are, though. So you don't have to like freaking open a thesaurus to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because the instrumentation is just so good. She keeps doing live performances, which just heighten it. The live instruments are amazing. My vinyl gets here this week. I had to buy one from Urban Outfitters because every other one was sold out.
Well.
That was me. That was bad on me for sleeping because she freaking announced it in April. I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to that, and then I just never pre-ordered the vinyl or anything. But yeah, insane record. Need to hear it on vinyl, but
I'm sure it would be better. Yeah. I listened to it the day after we recorded that podcast.
Okay.
And I was very impressed. You were not kidding when you were. I think it is pretty much a mix between Lauryn Hill and Kendrick. There is some T-Pab influences on there for sure, and Lauryn Hill influences, I suppose. But yeah, I was very impressed. To me, I think it was maybe a little bit bloated, but I mean, it was still good. I
think it's only bloated in the way that you can't listen to every song by itself because there's a lot of interludes.
Yeah, I think that was my main issue. But
that's why I want to hear it on vinyl, so I'm forced to listen to the whole thing.
True.
But because that was kind of like my one thing from when I was first listening to it. I'm like, there's a lot of interludes, so I'm not getting like full songs. But then as I listen to it through more, I'm like, oh, these interludes actually perfectly add to it because the instrumentation is so cool. But yeah, that intro track is still still like incredible. That might just be like one of the best songs of the year.
Yeah, that is no joke. Yeah, very good.
I don't know a way to open an album better. So
I don't know. Yeah. I even thought like as that was happening, I'm like, this is Wesley Theory is good.
This is Wesley Theory's 2.
Yeah.
Except it's like a fairy tale instead of a like screenplay.
Yeah.
Musical.
Just as good. But,
concept's incredibly strong. I picked up on like the kind of fairy godmother thing, and then there's like 2 versions of her. Really cool. Introversion themes hit me to my core. I don't know how someone can write like that about themselves and their personality type like so candidly. Kendrick's literally the only other person I can think of that can write about themselves and have such an awareness about everything going on around them and being able to write it so clearly.
Yeah.
But I think like the line that stood out to me that kind of encapsulates the whole record was like, I write for a living, but I don't even know how to communicate with people. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
It's the line of the year right there.
That's real.
But yeah, so insane. I guess we'll move on. Kacey came out. We did our first reaction. You can watch it on the Boy Time channel.
Yes. It's been performing very well.
It's been performing very well. I think people were excited for it.
Yeah, I was excited for
recording it.
Yeah.
Thoughts changed on it a little bit. I don't know if you want to touch on that or.
My thoughts, it did too. Okay. I've had some discourse with people in the comments.
I saw that. I was going to reference that as well. But you can give your updated thoughts because I was going to give mine as well.
Well, I guess I should probably just go over what we originally thought as we were going.
Yes.
As we did the main reaction. We recorded it as it dropped, like not but 1 minute after it dropped. That we recorded it, listened to it, and so that being said, very late. Well, not very late, but you know, we were. I was tired, if I'm being honest. That's not to say that I don't stand by what I said. I still very much like this album. I have been listening to it pretty consistently over the past couple days, all Friday and today, as of us recording this. And I still like it a lot. There are some more songs that I don't like on my.
I'm so glad that you feel this way because I didn't really want to bring down the mood.
Yes. There are more songs that I don't like, I think. But I did bring this up in the comment that I left. I don't think that the lows ever get as low as Golden Hour, but I think the highs actually get higher for me.
Yes.
I think Camera Roll, Hookup Scene, Angel, I'll even throw in like Gracias a la Vida, which is so like weird and like it's just so like weird and transformative, and I really dig it a lot. That might actually be one of my favorites on the album, even though it's a song, but it's like it's kind of like the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I don't even know exactly which ones I wouldn't like, and it's not that I don't dislike any of the songs, but it's like in Golden Hour, you know, I'm not gonna listen to High Horse if I'm gonna like just go on Golden Hour. I'm not like, ooh, I'm in the mood for some Wonder Woman or something, which that's probably a bad example because that's the worst song on there.
Yeah.
But like, let me just pull up Golden Hour for reference. Like I love Rainbow. I think Rainbow is a great song. That's never my go-to. I think that there's a lot of songs on here that are like that for me. But man, there are some great tracks on here though.
I guess I kind of have the same general consensus. I usually go into concept albums looking for overarching themes and consistency, which is what I mostly got here. And I looked over missteps. I've had time to find those, but my first reaction is true, and that is completely my first reaction because that's how that works. This is the first time I've heard it. But once again, not as consistent as Golden Hour, I don't think.
Yeah.
And there's some songs where now that I've listened to the lyrics multiple times, I'm like, no, please.
She is not the most talented lyricist.
It's and some of the songs get to the point of like freaking Live Laugh Love, like
okay, I have not paid attention at all.
Stop.
Yeah.
Some of the songs did still sound the same to me, so I have kind of X'd out like Cherry Blossom. Breadwinner I still very much dislike.
I don't
know
like that
people
one
have
either.
kind of been conflicted on that one. Some people really like it. I'm like, I can't get with that at all. It's just everything about that track I really just do not like at all.
Yeah, I think that is the Wonder Woman of this.
Yes, for
this
sure.
album. Yeah.
It's just the lyrical content and everything is just so incredibly basic. I get that there's like, because I know Good Wife is satirical now that I'm looking at it, because she's like being a traditional like wife, like this is what society tells you. It's fine. I can look over that because I love the instruments on that song.
Yes. Yeah.
And I get that it's satirical and it's for a thematic purpose. So I can accept that one, but I don't listen to it that much anymore.
Yeah.
So it's not as consistent, and it's not like, I was listening to vinyl today for like the first time in a while, and I put on home video again, and I really just realized how fantastic of a songwriter Lucy is.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it outshines every single song on here by miles.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it really had to make me like go back and rethink this. I'm like, wow, I like the production she's doing, but like it's not like you have to pay attention to the lyrics, but once you listen to songs so many times, they just kind of get with you. And this one got to me pretty quickly, and then I'm like, man, she's still doing the same writing style. And I
Yeah.
just don't know if I don't vibe with it or if her writing really isn't strong.
I don't think she's the strongest writer, but
Yeah.
that's like something I'm willing to overlook because I love the song so much.
hmm
Um,
And some of the songs I can do that with, but others I'm like, I can't.
yeah.
Because it's such a backbone to it. But with
I'm-
that being said, I still think like hookup scene is pretty well written. Camera roll is also, while cheesy, seems passionate and genuine.
Yeah.
Uh, I defend Kanye a lot when he does stupid lines that are funny and like weird,
hmm
because knowing Kanye's personality and the way he delivers them, they feel genuinely like expressions that he's trying to get across. So I feel the same way about Kacey,
Yeah.
but not every song she does that. But
No.
the ones she does, I can overlook it because I'm like, whatever. So still pretty. I enjoy this thing still.
I do too. Yeah.
Just not as much as my first reaction, but I think as an album experience, it's a really cool first reaction. It's just I don't think it ever reaches those heights of like a second listen.
Yeah.
I think I was just really impressed by production wise first time, and it was a really cool experience.
Yeah. I think the like general song structure for the most part is pretty solid throughout.
Mhm.
I did bring this up in the reaction. It does feel very samey in the beginning.
It does, yeah.
But
It doesn't go away either.
no. But I think it's like she peppers in some like more different sounding ones. Like you can like Breadwinner is bad, but it is different than like every other track on here.
Yeah, it's different. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Um,
So it would have been if like Breadwinner was great, that would have been a very good change of tone. It would have been a nice like breakup of the kind of rigmarole that we had been through the whole thing.
yeah,
But
Act
it
2
is
was very low.
yes. I think there are less songs in the second act that I like. Except
There's the Light is still like my top track. So
yeah, I still don't get that. I've been like listening to this the whole way through. That is, it's not one of my favorites. It's also not like I don't hate it, but I don't. Frankly, I
think it's
don't
'cause
get
the
what you see.
production. I don't have to shake my head at her lyrics because there's not a lot of them because it's a dance track.
Yes.
So there's a lot of repetition, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Well.
So I think there's still a lot of room for her to improve, and I hope she continues improving. But
Yes.
we'll watch the movie on Monday.
Yeah,
and
I guess
we will give thoughts on that next week.
that is something that we cannot comment on yet. That there is a
Yes.
whole other half to this story
Correct.
that we have not seen yet. But we will see it soon, a couple days.
Soon. Yeah. Baby Keem. I guess I'll touch on him next.
Yeah, let's talk about Keemster.
Let's talk about Baby Keem. Man's been on fire recently. He did the good decision of dropping while the iron was hot. Had features on Kanye's album. Has a song with Travis Scott, and he's Kendrick's cousin and gets the features from him as well. Melodic Blue. Overall, I see a ton of potential in this guy. He is 20 years old. I don't want to for you to keep that in mind. There's so much room for improvement. Most of these songs feel like they're getting there,
Yeah.
but a lot of them don't, or not a lot of them, but some of them don't. He raps like a 20-year-old because he has a lot of questionable lyrics that are very childish, but he's named Baby Keem and his voice sounds like he's like intentionally voice cracking and stuff, which is cool. It's different.
Yeah.
He sounds like no artist I've ever heard before, but he also sounds like every single commercial artist I've heard.
Does he have like that like charisma that you get from like that Wu-Tang album?
He's
where
got
it's like,
Kendrick charisma.
okay. Well,
maybe it's because he's got a little bit of his inflection in there.
yeah.
But when Kendrick like needs to sit people down and let them know, like I'm talking like Element, I get that same energy from him.
Okay.
And I think people are so turned off by him because it is so weird and off-putting because he makes the most awkward. Everything about him is awkward.
Yeah.
But he uses it as his kind of signature thing. His flows are awkward. Everything seems like it's a little bit off. But it goes hard. So I have to like justify. I'm like, I feel like this is Playboy Cardi for me. This is like hitting me like a Playboy Cardi album would for people that are really into Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird and it's really different and it's very off-putting, but I mess with it.
Okay.
A lot of his strongest songs are ones that don't have a structure. They flow between sections. Trademark USA is the opener, and it goes through 4 distinct different parts and switches flows, I think, 6 times. Same with the Range Brothers and Family Ties.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so he's got this really weird, like, here's a song, but there's 3 songs inside this song, and you're just gonna have to roll with it, which is cool. I think the opener works really well because I think what Range Brothers and Family Ties do so well is it maintains energy because their energy together is so fantastic.
Yeah.
But Trademark goes through what you want from an opener. He's telling you straight out. It's kind of this intro leading into what's going to be on the album, and then it goes into like an R&B route, kind of. But the charisma's there. It's weird. It's off the wall. A lot of 808s and Heartbreak influence, which is cool. Obviously, that album has been the most influential of the last 10 years, I would say.
Yeah.
But he's taking influence directly. He's not making something new of it. So I think he literally sampled the drums from an 808 song on this.
Oh, okay.
Because 808s is so minimal and the drums are so potent that a lot of artists didn't take that blueprint. They took the Kanye's vocals where it's auto-tuned. So he's taking production styles because he produces as well.
Okay.
A lot of them, his more like introspective tracks work really well. Lost Souls, Scars, Issues was fantastic. I like a majority of the stuff here, I think, too. Some a lot more than others. Again, potential. This guy's 20, and I can only see him going up from here.
Yeah.
This could be like a situation where, like a Tyler situation, where you see the immediately potential, and then as they grow, they just seem to be like unstoppable.
That's what I was gonna ask, if because Tyler is kind of a good example of someone who started young and made, controversial things, like not in like the lyrical sense, even though there was plenty of that in Tyler's.
There was a lot of that. It was shock rap.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that like even musically it was controversial.
Correct.
So is that the kind of vibe you're getting from Keem, where like maybe, years down the road where he learns to mature and hone his craft, that like maybe he can make a Flower Boy and come out of this and, not like come out of it, but, have a unique style that's good and,
I think it's a little different because he has a unique style, and I don't think people are warming up to it yet.
Okay.
It's kind of like I don't know who to compare him to, where it's like people were kind of like about someone, and then it finally clicked when they put out a really solid album that kind of crossed over with people. Because I think you just have to dig the style that he's doing, and it is a very different style. But if he can make this album at 20, I don't see him ever slowing down.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really impressive things on here. Kendrick made the meme of the year on Range Brothers. That meme is absolutely hilarious, and I love that he's able to just play around.
Yeah, I listened to that right after Kacey. I listened to that Kendrick song. I'm like, this is like the exact opposite of what I've come to expect from him. But it is fun. It's
fun. It's playful. It's not serious. And
yeah, that's fine. I don't need that from him all the time.
Yeah, I'm glad for that, just because his whole last decade has been ultra serious, and I'm guessing this album rollout's going to be the same. So we're done with Kendrick features. It's on to his main event now whenever he decides.
I'm sure he'll let Keem breathe a little bit.
Yeah. He has registered over 30 songs to like the artist copyright database, so he is ready. Yep.
How many?
I don't know if all 30 of those are going to be on the album.
Is that standard? Like, dude.
I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly.
Man, 30 songs. That would be crazy.
I mean, Kanye did a really good long album, so I'm sure Kendrick could live up to that as well.
I'm sure. But is it going to be like, Donda is like almost 2 hours. You always forget that.
Yeah. It's like an hour and 20 if you don't count bonus tracks.
True. This could be a Songs in the Key of Life, though, where it's like 2.5 hours and one of the best albums ever.
Yeah. With like Kendrick and Kanye, I have faith where
Oh,
They know what
yeah.
they're doing. They
No,
craft
yeah,
they craft these pieces, so I'm down with it.
for
But
sure.
his verse on Range Brothers was really cool too, and I like how they Family Ties was good to put out as a single, but that beat switch into Kendrick felt like it stopped all momentum to give him room to come back. This one felt more natural. He just kind of came in, and then they traded off verses more. Um, and Kendrick just raps. Like there's nothing insanely deep or complex about it, but I don't need it. I just need to hear his voice and his flow
Yeah.
on a hard beat, and that's what I got. It is super fun. It's super energetic.
Yep. I liked. Oh, what's this song that he was on? The second one,
Range Brothers.
Range Brothers. I liked this one more than I liked Family Ties.
Okay.
I think, I think just what you were saying is I don't think I really vibe with this Baby Keem switch up all the time, because Family Ties has like 4 different sections
It's
in
got
it.
4 beat switches.
Yeah, which is like, it's fine. I don't feel like any of them really get a chance to like really develop and like really
I think that's
develop on their own.
Keem's, because that happens a lot on the album, where he changes so much where you're never comfortable.
Yeah, and I can see it and respect it.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Yeah, it just that's what a lot of people are saying too, because it hasn't like hit yet.
Yeah.
And
So
everybody's favorite song is different than other people's,
okay.
which is weird. Because I didn't like his slower songs at first, because I love his energy so much, where I just want an album full of bangers, and I still need like an EP or something of him and Kendrick.
Oh yeah,
That'll be
that'd be
so
great.
fun, because Kendrick's work is so serious. I need something lighthearted that I can just like rock to. He did take Kendrick's verse off of Vent, but Kendrick's chorus on Vent is pretty nasty.
We did a chorus. He isn't, and then they didn't credit him.
They didn't credit him because he's like, I think he does one chorus and then Keem takes it, because I think it was a reference track. Because the rumors last year when they came out and said Kendrick's working on a rock album, I think they were talking about this song. Because
Okay.
this song leaked last year with a Kendrick verse on it, and this song does have a lot of rock influence on it.
Weird.
And it hits like a truck.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it could have been that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like that would be what it is, because that fits like all the criteria of what people were talking about last year.
Yeah.
Because I think Vent was going to be a Kendrick song,
Could be.
which is interesting. But
yeah.
Ton of potential. I don't know where I rank this quite yet. I'm still kind of just vibing with it. But the hard-hitting songs are awesome. I love his energy. It's so weird that someone younger than me is like making this like this right now.
Yeah.
And he's so uncompromising in his style that he doesn't care about fitting into like mainstream trends. He's doing it his own way. So PJ Lang, a label, a company to watch out for. You got this youngster with millions, like tons of potential, and then Kendrick. Like, I think Georgia Smith's on that label as well, and she's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
well, now that Kendrick's leaving Top Dog, that's for sure one to look out for. Well,
I hope there's more collabs
one.
between the two.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Keem do like a hook on Kendrick's album or something. I know Kendrick doesn't usually include rappers as features, which I'm down with, because Kendrick carries tracks by himself.
Yeah.
But even like a chorus or something, because he's got that youthful energy. Or if Kendrick needs to do like a youthful kind of voice, like he does in Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
If he wants to have someone younger come in, because he kind of sounds like Kendrick, and he can make himself sound like Kendrick if he wants to. That could be cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did have a couple verses on T-Pab, like Snoop Dogg and Rhapsody. So, I mean, it's not like out of the
Snoop Dogg's
question.
wasn't really a verse, though. It was kind of like a weird hook thing.
Yeah, but
yeah, Rhapsody was the only rap verse on the album.
Yeah.
And it fit perfectly thematically. So.
But even if like Baby Keem did something like Snoop Dogg, where he did like a weird hook thing, it would still be.
And
pretty
he is
epic.
weird, so it'd be awesome.
I mean, we still don't know anything about what this next project is going to be.
Yeah, we know nothing. He's headlining festivals in November, so we kind of have a little bit of a timeline of when things can start popping off.
So really, like, it could be any day now.
It could be any day. And now that Keem's out, I'm predicting it'll be a week or two, kind of let that sit with people, and then,
Yeah.
My time.
Yeah.
Let
I
the
could see
top
that.
of the morning calm down
Top
a
of
little
the
bit,
morning.
and then,
I don't think that's gonna calm down. That's just gonna get.
No, it's hilarious too. It's not forced at all.
No. Yeah.
It didn't fit the song at all either. They just like completely stopped it to put like
No,
a
it
weird
didn't.
thing in the back.
They knew what they were doing.
And the ad libs are hilarious. And
Yeah.
oh,
A good song.
good stuff. Yeah, great song. It's just super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love hip hop that's fun. I
Yeah.
don't get a lot of hip hop that's fun because it's like
Not
a
usually.
lot of trap stuff, and it's not usually my thing.
Oh yeah.
but
Listen to
this one's
6ix9ine.
Yeah. I guess I can touch on 504 dropped a single. 504 was on Off the Grid on Donda. Had like the best verse on the album.
Is that the
Dropped a
GD song?
No. They don't let that GDs in the door. Yeah, no. It's the second Off the Grid verse that goes for like a minute and a half. But people said he wasn't good before that verse, and I'm gonna take their word for it. I don't listen to a lot of drill, but this new song is pretty good. I think he went to jail for a while, so I'm guessing he kind of like did something on there and got more focused. Because if he comes out, does that on Donda, and then drops this, like something to watch out for.
Yeah.
So those were like the main singles. I guess Phoebe Bridgers had a feature on a Muna song, and Muna's kind of like an indie rock band. Kind of cool song. I'm only interested because Muna is opening for Phoebe Bridgers, and I'm going to see her tomorrow. So
Oh yeah.
thought I should get some background. And then they dropped a song conveniently the week of.
That is very convenient.
So definitely not planned at all. Haha.
No.
Kind of cool. Not really my thing too much. It's more of the indie rock type thing, but I'm sure it'll go hard in concert. So
Yeah.
Messing with it. Other than that, I think I guess 100 Gex announced 10,000 Gex coming soon.
Oh boy.
No release date, but definitely ready for that.
Definitely gonna do a first reaction.
We could with Bad Chat if we want to.
I don't know why I want to.
I'm so ready for new Gex music though.
Yeah, you have fun with that one.
I just need some nice, fun, uplifting music.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some of it, but there's not nearly enough. Actually, Donda's completely serious. Little Sims record is fun, but it's not like go crazy, go stupid fun.
Well, we got
Seems
Lil Nas
fun.
X.
Lil Nas, yes. I forgot about it for a split second. Lil Nas X this week. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that one's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that.
So ready to hear what he's gonna do.
I hope the whole album, he just scraps all the lyrics and it just says, "I don't fuck bitches, I'm queer," just over
that
and
could be
over
good.
and over again. That would be hilarious. And then he gets Elton John to say it too.
That would be the best thing. It's gonna be our first reaction of a rap album I haven't heard. Actually, we're gonna be doing Black Star on Monday.
True.
I think. So never mind. But I'll just be like going like, "Oh, that's a bar," and then you'll be like, "What?"
Is Lil Nas X rap?
He raps sometimes.
Sometimes I would see him more as a pop star,
Industry
but
Baby,
the
he
rappers
kinda-
still respect me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he does rap sometimes.
he does.
Like Industry
Yeah.
Baby, he kind of gets in there.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But he's got like Megan features, Doja Cat features, so
that's true.
those are probably gonna go hard. So
Yeah, that's
very
gonna be good.
excited for that one.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
It's gonna be fun.
I got 34 albums on my top 50 list, so
Okay, so we're getting
we
there.
are getting there.
That's probably like right on track, like with how much
That
of
is
the year's
pretty on
done.
track, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Cara Bonito dropped Civilization, the album. So
If you want to
basically
cheat,
just
you
combined
could do
Civ
that.
1 and Civ 2 and put a little transition track. I haven't heard it because I'm waiting for my vinyl to get here.
Oh, okay.
Then I'll play it. But we do have Civ 1 on our reaction wheel, but I'm probably just going to play Civ the album or something if we get that one.
That would
just
be
to make
fine.
it a video because it's literally like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 12 minutes, I think Civ 1 is.
The problem is I've already heard Civ 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We could just do Civ 1. I don't care.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know, man. I kind of prefer Civ 5, you know? It's a bit more fun than
Civ 5 was, a highlight.
Yeah, it's not, well, those are all leaks. Those aren't out yet, unfortunately.
Yeah. Civ 5 will come out in 2032.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay.
Everybody
Civ
set a
5's
reminder on
already
their
out,
phone.
so is Civ 6. What are you talking
No
about?
way.
I can go play it
Definitely
right now.
check out that if nobody's heard it yet, because Kara Bonito, fun,
It is
crazy,
fun.
groovy,
Make
jam.
the flamenco song she did.
Yes,
Kind of fun and kind of snack. Think about it.
it's true.
That's not the lyric, but it was close enough.
Yeah.
Is it
I think that's
showtime?
That's all the music stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the slowest week of this insane month. So.
We'll see what happens next week then. We're going to be just gushing over Lil Nas X for a
I hope so.
hot minute. Well, probably. I don't know. It might be hot gra. I doubt it, though.
Mate.
Yeah. So we do have 2 reviews today.
Review time.
One of them is going to be very short. One of them is going to be more in-depth because we are officially caught up with Ozark. So we will be talking about that. We will be starting Vader Zim. I think we might have that finished by next podcast, actually, because there's only like 20-some
Yeah, it's
episodes.
pretty short.
Depending on how many we do a day, I guess.
It'll be the test if it holds up. I haven't watched it in like over 10 years.
Oh, I'm sure it will. I still see people talk about it all the time.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, we'll be doing that. After that, we'll be doing Twin Peaks. I actually just checked out Eraserhead from the library. Going to be getting in that David Lynch mood. I might go check out Mulholland Drive too, because that is another big one that he did. Yeah, very excited to be getting into that too. But we need to talk about Ozark. And actually, I'm going to talk about Doug Days first, because I don't have very much to say about it.
Do that one.
Doug Days, released on Wednesday, I think. Last Wednesday.
Released on Doug Day.
It was released on Doug Day. I guess a little bit of history. I have been adamantly against any spin-offs or sequels to Up because I believe it is Pixar's best movie and that they should not touch it with a 10-foot pole. Just leave it as it is. It has a great ending. Do not mess with it. The show comes out, and I reluctantly watch it. I was very, very worried about this show. I was worried that it was just going to either A, spit in the face of Up and just like completely ruin the ending pretty much, or just be a shameless cash grab, which it is. But I watched it all in one sitting. You can watch it all in 50 minutes, probably less than if you skip the intro every time. Which I have to say, I think probably the most offensive part for me is the beginning. Because, if you don't remember, I guess, spoilers for Up, but that movie's like 15 years old, so...
Yeah, I feel like everybody has seen that movie.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say it, but yeah. At the end of Up, Carl and Russell, they move back to America with the blimp. They leave the house in Paradise Springs. So they have the blimp and they have all the dogs, and they're sitting on the curb eating ice cream and pointing out different colors of cars. It's a very good ending. The the opening title sequence starts with Carl and Doug selling the blimp, and then they buy a suburban home in unknown American city, USA. And it's just like, oh, that sucks. I can't believe you did that. So it's like the first shot. They're playing that up motif, that da na 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 na. It's like, oh, I was like, oh frick. So what happened to the dogs? They have all the dogs, and then
It's been 15 years. What you mean?
well, Doug's still
Dog don't
alive.
live that long.
Yeah, I
Doug's
get
the talking dog.
that. They're all talking dogs.
Doug has plot armor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he is plot armor, so he doesn't age.
He does have a little bit of plot armor.
A
So
little bit.
yeah, that's how it starts, and I'm like, oh, that is that is rough. So they
Shit.
sell the house.
Rough.
Oh, ha ha. And most of the show is just Doug being a dog in suburban America, but he can talk. So it kind of just boils down to, funny dog memes that like your grandma would post on Facebook or something. Which is what you would want from an Up spinoff, frankly. I will say that Russell is only in one episode. He appears to live next door, but he's hardly ever shown in the show. And I think the main reason for that is that the voice actor got old and then his voice changed.
Died.
He died, yeah. That's not true. Well, it might be true. I don't know.
Fact check.
So they got like some random kid to play him that sounded close enough. So they gave him like 2 lines, and that's fine. But Ed Asner returns, as well as the person that plays Doug. Sorry, I don't know who you are. I just know Ed Asner's name because he just died like 2 weeks ago. And I saw that he died, and I'm like, is he going to be in Doug Days? I went on his IMDb, and Doug Days was not listed. And I'm like, oh, that is not good if they replaced him. That's Carl Fredricksen, for Pete's sake. They did not. He is in the show. Very minimally, I might add. I believe he died, he was like 93. So, he can't really do very much. He's in the show pretty minimally. Most of the show is Carl and Doug set up situation. Doug goes into backyard that's like a fenced-in backyard. Shenanigans ensue. Carl wakes up from his nap and is like, oh, Doug, you rat scallion, you're still a good boy even though you messed everything up. And then Doug's like, I'm a dog. And that's the show.
Yep. This
Uh,
is deep on multiple levels.
yeah. Honestly, I aside from the opening shot, I wasn't too offended. It wasn't like anything horrible. I believe I brought this up last week in the credits of Up. In like every single 2000s movie, there was pictures that show the characters where they are now. Doug does have puppies in the end credits of Up. Those do not make an appearance, nor does his mate
They
make
sold
an
it with
appearance.
the house.
They probably sold it with the blimp, yeah.
Dogs included.
It does make the Up ending a little bit weird now that it's just like, oh, they're in America and they live in a blimp, and it's like, nope, they sold the blimp and all the dogs as soon as they possibly could, and then they lived in a very nice suburban house. It's just like, okay. I don't have too much to say though. It's so short that it's just like each episode's like 8 minutes if you cut off the like theme song and credits, or like even less than, like some of the full episodes are like 9 minutes, and so it's like you're probably getting like 6 or 7 of actual content. So like really there isn't too much to be mad over. This isn't like a Monsters at Work thing where they actually tried to like make a show that takes place after Monsters Inc., which also I don't have very many thoughts about. I started it and I'm like, this is boring, I don't really care. But Billy Crystal and John Goodman are back in that. Whatever, it's fine. I would have been more upset if they did that with Up, where they like actually tried to make like a 22-minute, like 18-episode season of an Up spinoff, but they didn't. It's just cute little shorts that they're probably gonna play in between shows on Disney XD. I don't care really. But am I ever gonna watch it again? No.
Nah, man.
And I don't really recommend that anybody does. So don't. Just
Alright,
watch
I'll
Up.
watch it.
If you want more Up content, just watch it again, you coward. So yeah, that was it for Doug Days. It's fine. Now it's time to get in.
1 out of 10. What would it be?
5.
Nah, I'll probably give it like a 3.
Oh,
Okay.
That title sequence really was just
yeah, I
like
guess that
that
was
is so like that was what I was worried about, is that it was just gonna spit in the face of Up. And
literally
it kinda does
ruined
that.
a childhood ending. Come on.
It really did.
For a
Like,
little bit of cash.
yeah.
Anyway, baby.
I know, like, the whole reason they did this is like, what if we made like a cute dog show? Do we have any dog IPs we can dig up? And we're like, Up has a funny talking dog that was pretty successful in its time. Boom. Let's just do
Then they had
that.
to shoot the original writers of directors in that movie because they wouldn't let them touch it.
Yeah, I don't know what they have to say about it. I imagine they're not very happy. Pete Docter is probably rolling in his grave, even though he's still alive. I don't know why they're like digging up his stuff too, because he also made Monsters Inc. He must
Yeah,
be
that's
down
weird.
for this. So
He must be dead or in jail.
he's not dead. He just made Soul.
They have him captive.
Yeah, probably. I know they're kind of setting him up to be the new John Lasseter, because I don't know if you noticed, John Lasseter apparently has a lot of sexual assault allegations.
No way, dude.
Yike.
So try watching Toy Story the same way ever again. Huh? I know Toy Story 4, I think, was the last movie that John Lasseter worked on, and Rashida Jones was on the writing team for that. Rashida Jones is she plays someone on Parks and Rec. She was in the Muppets movie. She plays the person that runs the network that they're kind of working with. That's Rashida Jones. And she's also a very talented comedy writer. So they got her on for Toy Story 4. She left early because of sexual, or not like, I don't think it was even sexual with her. I believe it was just like they weren't taking her seriously because she's a woman. So,
Classic.
yeah, classic.
Classic human.
That's like old
Male.
Hollywood stuff, and John Lasseter
Yeah.
started making movies in the 90s, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's good that Pete Docter is in. Pete Docter is very, very good.
And Soul's a slapper.
Soul is a slapper. I don't know what else. I think he's made Up. I think he directed Monsters Inc. I don't think he wrote it. And then he did Soul. And Inside Out. That's his other one. That was the in-betweener. So we probably have 5 years until the next Pete Docter project, but that's fine. So what are we talking about? Ozark. Let's talk about Ozark for the third week in a row.
Major spoilers.
This is the full-on...
Just to exit the video because this is the last topic, I think.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Leave.
Leave.
don't
If you
spoil it.
haven't seen Ozark, and I recommend, short answer, watch the show. Very,
Watch the
very quality.
Fantastic.
Very good show. If
Now
you like
leave.
if you like shows like Breaking Bad, stuff like that, crime shows with a twinge of like family drama, that very, very good. Now you can exit stage right, if you will.
Get out of here. Didn't need you here anyways.
Ben dies.
What?
Just
Ooh.
I was just trying to give a major spoiler so that if they didn't
Okay.
leave, they would
Good
regret
thinking,
it.
good thinking.
We gave them ample time. Okay. So last week we talked about season 2. I think both of our consensuses was very good. I think it's better than the first season. What do you think?
Yes. I thought it was consistent, but
Yeah.
season 2 had higher highs.
Yeah. And then I think season 3 ran with the ball. I think
best
this is the best season yet. And I do need to look up who played Ben, because he is definitely the high point for me. Tom Pelfrey. I don't know if Tom Brady actually plays him. Oh, he was in Mank. Oh, good for him. Okay, I saw Mank. That was a very good movie.
Mank.
I don't remember seeing him, but he was there. So Ozark. We got new characters. Season 2 ended. Wendy, murked Ruth's dad. Well, not physically, but
But she did.
she did. And then Agent Petty, who was the CIA, not CIA, FBI agent that had been investigating the birds. He gets murked by Ruth's dad. So it was like there's this weird power vacuum thing where it's like all of the antagonists are dead except for the cartel and Helen Pierce, the lawyer. So it's
And
like
Marty.
Cartel's never
and
dies.
Marty, I guess.
There's no protagonist in the show
No, although
except for Ben, but Ben died. So
Ben was my absolute favorite character. I loved him so much. I need to look up his name again. Tom
You're definitely
Pelfrey.
supposed to.
Tom Pelfrey. You absolutely knocked it out of the park. That is some of the best acting I have ever seen. The range on this guy, absolutely insane. He starts out, pretty well-adjusted guy, except, we are introduced to
Not at
him.
all. Yeah.
But once he's in the family, he
Okay,
seems
yeah.
to be pretty well-adjusted. Seems to be a nice guy, fun-loving guy, taking Jonah out and kind of taking him under his wing. But we are introduced to him where he beats up like a school landscape person who's like clipping some trees or something. And then he comes to the house. He escapes a bench warrant. So then he goes to the Ozarks to live with his sister Wendy. So Wendy, of course, being one of the main protagonists of the show, he is living with her now, and we kind of see him evolve over the season. He starts a budding romance with Ruth, which a little awkward, but not the most awkward romance.
No, not the
in
most
show.
awkward. That one felt natural.
That one felt natural. I was a little bit worried about the age gap because they're probably like 10, 15 years in between them. Ruth is probably in her early 20s, and Wendy's old enough to have 2 teenage kids, so Ben is probably in his late 30s, maybe. So there is a little bit of an age gap
Like
there, but it
mid-thirties. Yeah,
felt
they don't give
fine.
exact ages.
Yeah. It felt reasonable, and their chemistry was great. I think, Ben was like the only person
It wasn't a creepy
ever.
thing.
No, it wasn't creepy, no. But it was kind of a big monumental thing in Ruth's character because Ruth kind of puts up this, front where she's like, tough as nails, girl boss kind of.
Girl boss slay.
Yeah, she's definitely slaying in this show. But Ben kind of gets through the cracks and they start a budding romance, but he's bipolar. That's the big twist of it all, which I was a little bit worried when.
I was also extremely worried.
I was a little worried when they brought up that he was bipolar. I think I was worried more than anything that it was going to be a very bad portrayal of mental illness.
That's what I was worried about.
I was just like, are they going to treat him like a monster? They don't do that. I was worried about that. But they don't end up doing that. It almost seems like it because, the main issue is he's like, him and Ruth are trying to like have sex, but his bipolar medication gives him ED, so he can't get it up. So he's like, I'm going to flush my medication because I want to be with Ruth. So, over the course of a couple episodes, we kind of see him not like, I'm trying to word this right. I don't want to come off as insensitive, but we kind of see him like shift.
Well, bipolar has manic episodes and they randomly happen.
Yeah. And you
So
saw
you
those.
you can kind of see the start of an episode, and then because of these episodes go in quite like the season's episodes kind of go. There's not a lot of time gaps.
Mm.
This episode kind of lasts between multiple things,
Yeah.
which pretty accurate, I would say.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you could definitely see like as he was like stopped taking it, like his mood definitely shifted, like episode to episode, where he would have episodes of like, kind of like, this is something that Wendy was saying that like when he's off his meds, he would like hyper focus on something, which is very manic and, kind of like be worried about problems, even if they they're so small that they're like super insignificant, but he still like blows it up to insane proportions. Yeah, yeah. So we see that that is a real thing, and you know Tom Pelfrey. I'm just gonna keep saying it. He does a great job portraying both the manic and depressive episodes. That's what I'm saying. His range is insane in this show. And not in a disrespectful way either. I think it was pretty.
I thought it was pretty authentic.
Yeah, I thought, and you really feel for the guy. Like you never are like rooting against him. They never like turn him into a monster or anything. Pretty much everything that he does that is like, you know, quote unquote bad or like stuff like that. Like he explodes and like yells at people. He even like gets physical, like punches people, but it's never like to the point or like portrayed where it's like, oh, that's something to be scared of. Being bipolar is something that I need to like be afraid of and, you know, avoid people. It all just seems like almost out of a place of pity where it's just like,
with like proper context, it doesn't come across that way. Although like when his character is on screen in those later episodes, when you get the full context, it's like there's a little bit of an edge to it because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I got the same kind of Darlene effect from season 2 where every time she's on screen, I'm just terrified.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's a very apt relation right there. Very similar to Darlene. So I guess, you know, the Ben arc does kind of end. He tells Helen's daughter that Helen works for the drug cartel, which Helen says is a very big no-no. She, as opposed to the Birds, has not told her kids or family anything.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. You know, that's something that Walter really wrestles with in Breaking Bad. Something that the Ozark just gets rid of. Like, they're like, we don't need to do this tension.
Makes it so much more complex, dude.
Yeah. It's almost like we know that this has been done by...
Yep, so let's just increase the intensity.
Let's just pick up right where they left off, which is great that they're doing this. But, you know, Ben does that. Then the cartel has to kill him because he's a liability. He knows everything about the drug cartel, and he's off his meds. He can, you know, he's able to just tell anybody this. So, you know, it comes from a reasonable place, if I'm being honest. But I didn't like that he had to die. He was my favorite. But my second favorite is probably Wyatt because he's banging an old lady.
That's a transition.
Yeah. I think this was my... it definitely made me the most uncomfortable in the show.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe when this first started, I audibly said, "Ah!" in my microphone because it made me very uncomfortable. But Darlene, who is, you know, insano mode crazy in season 2, she has a son now. And then Wyatt, who is Ruth's cousin, is like, I don't want to be near Ruth because she killed my dad. Reasonable. And so then he works on Darlene's farm. And then, a budding romance happens between an 18-year-old boy and, like, an elderly woman. And it's like...
At least 60s.
At least 60s, yeah. I mean, she's still, you know, somewhat spry. She can get around.
She's a farmer.
She is a farmer. That is true, too. But, yeah, that is uncomfy. Just because, you know... Wyatt is a, you know, budding flower. He's a little bit of a kid. I don't even know if he graduated high school, so I don't know. It's supposed to be a little bit uncomfy, so you know, good.
Yeah, it's definitely not meant to be seen as normal.
Yeah. So that happens, and I think that it's a great setup for season 4 because just talking about the end of the series as a whole, not series. I mean, kind of. We're
Series as
caught
of
up,
now.
but yeah, you know, the birds are worried that the cartel's gonna kill them. Helen has basically been treating them as expendable over the last couple of episodes, so it's like she's even like being pretty upfront about like asking people like, oh, would you work for the cartel if Marty and Wendy weren't involved? Like being very, transparent about wanting to usurp kind of their responsibilities and get the birds out of the picture. So, they kind of want to prove their loyalty to Navarro. And the end of the series, I don't know why I keep saying that, but it is the end of the series for now. Helen gets absolutely bodied, just like every single villain does in the show. And then Navarro's like, this is the beginning of a great and beautiful friendship, Casablanca style. Yes. And it's like, oh no. But I think if they pull this off, because they kind of have two rival gangs coming up, because we got the cartel that's working in the casino, kind of doing this other stuff, money laundering and drugs. But then now, Darlene is kind of starting to start her own drug empire. She's teaming up with the Kacey mob. She's got the Langmores backing her with Ruth and Wyatt now. So it's like, okay, this could be interesting. This is an interesting situation where it's almost like the cartel's going to have to be on the defensive after kind of weaseling into a place of power over this whole show. Now they're going to have to be on the defensive with the Snells and the Kacey mob going after them. And, how much of a twist is it that Ruth is going to have to be going up against Marty, even though they are best friends? They love each other so much that they want to kiss, probably. Well, I don't want to jinx it. That could happen.
It's not going to happen.
Well, you never know. But this show, I didn't think Wyatt and Darlene were going to kiss.
No, but it makes sense.
I guess, yeah. But I didn't expect it. I think if season 2 ended and we hadn't seen season 3 yet, and you said Darlene and Wyatt are gonna kiss in this one, I would have called you an absolute crazy.
Yeah.
So Ruth and Marty kissing is not out of the question.
I think it is, just because she treats her as a daughter. That would be so strange.
Fine. Wendy and Ruth kissing are out of the question.
That's even less likely to happen.
Well, you never know. This show is pretty progressive.
Yeah?
There's one gay guy, and they killed him. Well, two gay people, but they killed the other one earlier. So, but it's Missouri. So yeah, what is your overall series retrospective on Ozark?
Really good. It's very incredibly consistent.
Yes.
And the acting is fantastic. I am getting Walking Dead vibes, which that show has mentally prepared me for literally anything ever, just because of how devastating that show is and how they play with your emotions so much. So nothing phases me anymore because I'm traumatized. But this kind of has the same blueprint. I feel like these first 3 seasons are purely survival.
Mm-hmm.
That's what The Walking Dead was as well. But now they have a foothold.
Yeah.
And survival is no longer the bare minimum that they need to get.
That's true.
So now we're shifting into quote unquote war mode. Whereas that's when The Walking Dead started to take a hit. But again, with this one, there's no source material. So, this one will not take a hit, I'm assuming.
Hopefully not.
But kind of drawing parallels there, especially with the Ben thing. Like I saw that early on. I'm like, oh, this is a Walking Dead motif. Let's introduce a character that's actually the only good person in the entire show, make you really like him, and then you're going to have to murk him.
Yeah.
Classic. But I think Wendy was my main focus for the second half of season 2 and season 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a visual person, and I could just see in my mind the freaking line graph of power and just having it shift constantly,
Yeah.
and then having Marty hit rock bottom on power, and then have this weird like go to Mexico arcade episode, and then his power just spikes up, and then they completely trade.
Yeah.
And then Wendy hits absolute rock bottom from power hungriness. She was a literal dictator at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
And
And into season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for a majority of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yeah, for sure.
I was waiting for it because she was out of control.
Mm-hmm. I think
a lot of other characters were, but it was interesting to see her. And I think introducing Ben initially for me was like, oh, this is someone from her family because we don't know her family. This makes a lot more sense why she's doing this. Because this is like the real her and a reflection of her brother. They're both kind of like a little bit crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I guess in their own separate ways.
In their own right, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that Ben isn't doing it intentionally.
No.
Like, he'll have those manic episodes, and then he's, like, so forgiving. Like, he's
but
just
even
like,
his personality in general when he was on the meds was still kind of goofy and...
he was a little goofy.
Definitely out there.
Yeah.
Still. So
I mean, he just kind of had, like, a devil-may-care attitude, but, like, he wasn't, like...
His bipolar, like with most people, is still the same person. It's just...
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So he was already kind of like one of those more crazy people, like, you want to go break into somewhere? Haha.
Right, yeah.
Which, makes a lot more sense and provides context to Wendy's transformation into Heisenberg. Basically, I've been documenting that.
Yeah.
Since it started happening, and seeing Marty come back down to like the most civil person in the family for a little bit was cool.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, first time we were rooting for Marty for a little bit, where he was almost taking the deal. It was close.
Yeah, man.
First time I really liked the decisions his character was making.
Yeah.
It was the family divides with interpersonal issues were interesting. There's a lot of like complicated things happening, and it's really cool to digest all of them and see how they form and merge and characters grow apart and together and stuff, and it all just works.
Yeah. I think I agree. Marty has not been the best, but we really saw him kind of come through. Pre I guess Mexico. Then he kind of, putting Sam, the real estate man, getting him arrested for money laundering. Not the best, but
not the best.
Yeah.
And the whole therapist thing.
Yeah, that too. But the therapist is dead. Who cares? You kind of, even towards the end, he was really supporting Wendy. He was there when he needed to be. Everything else kind of took a back seat. But yeah, I think I would agree. Wendy was kind of going crazy sicko mode. Like if Wendy or if anyone ever really teams up with Helen, bad move. That like you going down to.
And she was actively out for blood the whole season too. The whole like casino boat thing and everything.
I think the one thing that I probably would have liked to see in season 3 that we didn't is I feel like Charlotte didn't really have a lot to do. She's been kind of a major character in season 2 especially, where she leaves, she gets emancipated, or she tries to at least, and she has this like friendship with Wyatt, and tries to establish his character in a pretty meaningful way, which was not really touched on season 1. He was just basically an asset for Ruth to have development, but then he kind of becomes his own later. I'm still waiting for that for 3. Come on.
I think season 4 is when he'll.
I hope so.
Get it. Everything's there. He's
Yeah.
now comfortable.
I mean, they definitely gave him more in season 3, but not nearly enough. Because I don't really care about him at all. He could die, and I don't care. And it's he's in the same situation that Wyatt is. It's Ruth's cousin. So they definitely need to give him more. But Charlotte, You know, she's working for the family. She sometimes talks to Jonah, and she's like trying to be the reasonable one around the kids, but like, I don't know, she didn't really do much. So
I feel like she had shadow character development.
yeah,
It was passive, which I kind of liked, just because there wasn't enough time to dig into everything. We kind of saw Jonah's descent into madness, kind of, um, because he's very analytical and smart, and just becomes like kind of an emotionless teenager. But then suddenly becomes the most emotion filled person.
that's true.
But I feel like Charlotte fell in line, so they didn't show her because there was a very, I don't know if it was sudden, it was a little bit gradual, like falling in line,
That's true.
staying quieter.
That's a good
Interesting.
point. Yeah, I just maybe would have liked to see Charlotte and Wyatt maybe have like something.
Yeah, they haven't spoken like the whole season, so that would have been nice.
Yeah, and they were like so close in
Yeah.
seasons 1 and 2. Like they were really setting something up. And Wyatt's been in town for like the majority of season 3, and you're telling me he hasn't tried to talk to like one of his only friends? It's like, I don't know if that really.
I think this whole Darlene thing is a
This-
facade, and he's kind of just hiding.
I'm
So
sure.
I'm expecting huge character development in season 4.
Season 4 is going to be wacko mode insane.
Yeah, just because he like maturely is like there, but I feel like he's still very much a teenager and can collapse at any moment.
Oh, that is for sure. It's going to be interesting to see when Wyatt grows up and like kind of, you know, gets out of this rut that he's kind of in. Like, it's not the best that he's getting with Darlene. Darlene, she's been kind of sleeping. She hasn't been too crazy. She did shoot someone's dick off, but like
She did a
that's
good
fine.
thing in the last episode.
She did a good
I like
thing.
the upswing from her.
Yeah, but she killed
And
Jacob.
she was right to keep the baby and not have Wendy take it because she was completely out of line. So.
Right. Well, I mean, I was rooting for Wendy to get the baby
I
because
was
you know
not.
Darlene is gonna freaking shank
Well,
that baby.
I mean, like, I felt like Darlene was more safe with it than Wendy was, just because Wendy was in like the peak of her power struggle,
Yeah,
and she just decided, I'm gonna go steal a baby.
that's true. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't like Darlene.
I hate her, but there were moments.
Yeah, there were moments like when she.
I feel like Ruth's just my favorite character because she's so consistent. Everyone else I have to flip flop on because like it flip flops.
I like Ruth too. I don't know. Ben was my favorite, and I was like, I loved.
I knew he
Tom
wasn't making it
Pelfrey.
around the season.
I had a feeling, but it was
Yeah.
just like, you know, as soon as he like told Aaron that Helen worked for the drug cartel, I'm like, okay, he's dead. Or someone's gonna die. Like, you know, there's gonna be consequences for that. But I really liked him. All of my favorite characters have died. I really liked Jacob in the first 2 seasons. I think I brought this up in the season 2 retrospective, but lawful evil, having a code while still being evil is one of my favorite character tropes that you can possibly have if it's done well. So he was a very good example of that. He kind of knew when to follow orders, but also he did want a slice of the pie, and he wanted what was right for his family. And it's like, he's a drug manufacturer, made opioids, but
At least they didn't spike him.
he didn't spike them, and he got mad when they were spiked.
Exactly.
So I did like Jacob, and then
He
I
did
liked
care about the people. Darlene just said they're junkies and they're expendable. So there was a little bit of a difference in ideology, even though we were both participating in the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone I like dies, and I
Welcome
even
to this kind of show.
yeah. I even liked Agent Petty. He was awesome.
I hated that guy. So
I
much.
did too. I was just joking.
I'm just taking the Walking Dead mentality going forward.
That's probably
Like, if
smart.
it seems too good to be true, then it's not.
Yeah.
So,
I guess even like Breaking Bad is like that, where
Mm-hmm.
dealers die, like
we just haven't had 7 seasons in and killing a fan favorite, because that's like more devastating than the Ben thing usually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if they really can. Like,
No,
can you kill Ruth? Like, what?
I hope not.
What would even happen? Like, where? She's such a source of like tension and stuff. I don't think
Yeah.
killing her off's a good move. So, I don't know. That season 4 is supposed to be coming out early next year, I believe.
Soon TM.
So, yeah, we'll probably be talking about Saul and Ozark around the same time,
Oh boy.
which is unfortunate
Yeah.
because I feel
I'm
like
more excited for Saul still.
I am too. I think, if I'm being honest, Saul's gonna kind of overshadow Ozark.
Yeah, even though the show is fantastic. Saul is
Yes.
kind of
Saul is
thing.
so flipping good.
Yeah.
And this season, it's gonna be the last one. It's gonna be awesome. I
Very
have a
important.
feeling. And Bob Odenkirk's gonna have another heart attack. It's gonna be great.
because of how good it is.
Yeah, because of how good it is. He's gonna watch it and then he's gonna
You watch it
die.
at home.
Do not
It'll be
finish
like
the
the
show.
most emotional, like perfectly acted Huel scene the world's ever seen. It's too much.
Kim's just gonna be like, I fucked Huel. And then Saul's gonna be like, no, I'm gonna have a
And then
heart
he does
attack.
the Walter face.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Well, that's it for this episode of the Boy Time Podcast. Did you like it? Leave 3 likes.
3.